Good morning, all my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach, and welcome to the Coffee and Crochet Podcast, live on YouTube with Sara. I know I haven't mentioned this in a while, but when we moved to Oklahoma about 6 months ago, we decided to move the time for me and not for you all. When I lived in Colorado, we did this at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 10:30 Oklahoma Central Time. Just a little FYI. Well, I really enjoyed talking to you all beforehand. I love that we can go in ahead of time and have a conversation. We can say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever we're celebrating, and say that to each other. We had a discussion about puzzles, and we also had a discussion with Tammy about the beaded cardinal that she sent me last year around Mother's Day. So I want to show it to you real quick, and then we will do our clink in, okay? So this cardinal that I have on the back of my chair, this is a cardinal that I did a couple years ago, and it's done in the C2C block stitch, and I love it, okay? And check out the graph. It's similar to what I'm going to show you. The graph is just a block graph. They call it a pixel graph. I don't have a pattern for it. I know everyone's like, I want the pattern. All I did is I went to Pinterest and I put in cardinal pixel graph. And there are several of them that come up. Some of them are quite intricate. But you can do this graph in a single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet. You can do it corner to corner. You can even do diamond painting and all of that sort of thing. This particular thing that I'm going to show you is actual beading. And this is made by Tammy from, make sure I say this right, Beaded Wind Socks is the name of her page. And her name is Tammy. And she sent this to me. I put a piece of paper behind it like she said so you could see it. This is a cardinal. I'm turning it so you can see the crystally of the beads. Isn't that gorgeous? She made this. Each individual bead, they're sewn together. It's not a diamond thing, and it's not crochet. Okay, it's gorgeous. And I'm telling you, this was time consuming. All right, she sent this to me, and I took it both to Hobby Lobby and to Michael's. One of them told me it was a little bit too delicate, and they weren't sure how to work with it. And I want to say that was Michael's, but I can't remember. Michael's or Hobby Lobby, one or the other, we found a frame, and instead of using the backing that was cardboard, because you can see it's a thick frame, it's not one of those deep frames that you put pins in. So what they did is they took 2 layers of glass and put it between there, and she used I don't know the kind of glue, but it was like little dots so that it wouldn't show through. It was really interesting. And she did this for me. It was a little more expensive, but it was totally worth it. Isn't that gorgeous? And it's similar to the graph that I did on this one. And those of you who know me or been watching me for a while, you know I love cardinals. My mother loved cardinals. And her and I both, for some reason, she had cardinals in her backyard, and I did too, when we lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I haven't gotten any here yet because we don't have any trees in our backyard yet. I am hoping to plant a bunch. We've got a bunch on our list. Crepe myrtles. I love crepe myrtles. If you don't know what they are, look them up online. They come in lots of beautiful colors, and they bloom beautifully. They're great in this area. So anyway, I wanted to re-thank Tammy for this because I know this was a lot of work. Very time consuming and gorgeous. And she mentioned don't put it in the direct sunlight. I'm going to set this over here on this little cushion. But my husband's piano is very precious to him. And I don't know if you know anything about a piano, but it has to be on an inside wall. You don't want it on an outside wall where the harp inside can get cold. It can mess up your tune and your strings and things. And so we keep it on an inside wall. And I have a lot of my cardinal stuff on top of the piano. And I have so much now that I have them on the sideboard too. I'm okay with that. I love them. I absolutely love them. This is crooked. It's kind of bugging me. Which one's crooked? This side. There we go. No, it's crooked again. Don't look at it. I can't get it straight. So anyway, it's just one of those precious pieces, you know. I get things occasionally from you all, and it just means the world to me. And another thing I wanted to mention is the hot pads and things that were made for me. They're in my kitchen, and I need to take some pictures so that you all can see them. The crochet hot pads, and I also got a grocery bag keeper, and I'm already using it. So I just really, really appreciate those things. And I will tell you, I've had lots of people ask me about my new address, and I'm not going to put it out there like on a comment or anything. If you want my new shipping address, you can either go to the website, www.poshpoochdesigns.com, and that link is down below in the description box, and you can shoot me an email or send me an email. Or you can go to the Posh Pooch Designs Facebook page and send me a message, and I'll give you my shipping address that way. Okay? I'm just, you know, there's too many spammers out there. I get spammed enough for having my website out there. Okay? And so, and I tell you this all the time, never ever put your email address or your shipping address in any comment anywhere. Unless it's like a business page, because you're going to get spammed. And this is the time of the year when they're really heavy at it. I've gotten some of the most weirdest things. I'm telling you, they're out there. Be careful. Never, ever click a link. Never. If someone says they're from some shop, don't click that link. Go to their webpage. Okay. Just a hint. Okay. Let's clink in. I've got my antique Santa mug. Isn't that the cutest thing? I don't even know where I got it. I've had it for as long as I can remember. Clinkety, clink, clink, clink. I found a new creamer. I don't know if I told you all about this. I've just got my regular old Folgers today because I had a Mr. Coffee. I used to have a Keurig and they kept dying on me. And so I thought, forget that. I'm going back to Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee and I have been in a long relationship. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Coffee passed away, and so I had to buy a new Mr. Coffee. He got sick and died. So I got a brand new Mr. Coffee. Anyway, I found this creamer that is sugar-free, and it's chocolate caramel drizzle. It's like a party in your mouth. If you cannot have sugar like I cannot because I'm diabetic, this is like, I mean, it's almost too sweet. I mean, it tastes just a tiny bit. Oh, it is so yummy, yummy, yummy. So I make a full pot, and then I'll make, fill up my coffee mug, and I'll just put not even a teaspoon in there. It is so sweet and so good. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know about that. I did want to mention something. A couple weeks ago, I was using my candy cane pens, and these have a really funny story. And someone said, "Oh, I thought you were going to show us the candy cane covers with your candy cane." Well, I do have a pattern out there for candy cane covers, but this actually has a funny story. When my granddaughter and I were shopping one day, and I think she was about 4 or 5. It's been a long time because she's 10 now. I bought this package. We were in Walmart, and she saw these. And she goes, "Hey, Oma, let's get a package of those candy canes where one is green and one is red." I'm like, okay. So we get out to the car. I mean, they're like 97 cents. And I love anything fun, So we get out to the car, and I buckle her in her car seat. And she said, "Can I open them?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I gave them to her. And then I heard, "Ugh." I'm like, look back. What's the matter? She goes, "Those aren't candy canes. Those are plastic." She thought they were real. She didn't want it anymore. Although she likes them now because she likes to write with them. But I thought that was so funny. I am not going to show you how to do my candy cane cover, although it'd be really cute on these as well, because these are about the same size as regular candy canes. But I just love them. I love them this time of year, writing with them. Alrighty, so I wanted to talk to you about a yarn that I found this week, and then I'll talk to you about our this and that video, and then also we've got some new patterns to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to click over to my other camera, and this is some new yarn I purchased this week. You can see I got it at Hobby Lobby. It's called Let's Get Cozy Chanel Appeal. This is a Lionbrand yarn, and it is so soft. But one thing that I really appreciate about this yarn is even though it's super soft, it's really a sturdy yarn. A lot of these that are chenille and blanket yarns, if you pull on them a little bit, they break. And this is a really sturdy yarn. It is a 3.5 ounce or 284 yards. Medium weight number 4, which I find this to be just a little on the thin side. You know, I always give it that 3.5 instead of a 3 or a 4 because it's not thin enough to be a 3, but I don't think it's thick enough to be a 4. But it is a beautiful yarn, and I purchased these 4 colors. This is like a gray, and it's called Storm Front. This is a sage green, and it's called Loden green. That's not an N. Loden green. I purchased this creamy one, and it's called Coconut Milk. It does look like coconut milk. And then this mustard green one, which is called Harvest Gold. And I thought that would make a really pretty poncho. So I might be doing that with this. But of course, it is a medium weight number 4 yarn. Super soft, super sturdy. It's just super pretty. And it says, let's get cozy. And that's why I think it make a really nice poncho or maybe wraparound shawl. I purchased them. Oop, hit my straw. They're $6.99 a piece. But if you go in there, I think it's like every other week, they have all their yarn on sale for 30% off. And wait till then and then go in and get them because that's going to be a significant savings if you want to do them. All right. Let's see. Did someone have a question? I thought I saw a question. I didn't hear one. I saw one. Oh, the sugar substitute. You know, I don't do Splenda because I don't know if you know this or not, but if you're diabetic, Splenda messes with your counts, your A1C counts. One of the sugars I've been using lately is called Swerve. And my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, Lynn, she is also going through some of the similar health issues that I'm going through and also onset diabetes. And she told me about Swerve. And she has a friend that makes a lot of sugar-free desserts and things with Swerve. And Swerve has a brown sugar, a powdered sugar, and a granulated sugar. Now, I don't know the sugar in the creamer. It's a cream, I think it's cremate. What is it? I've completely forgot the name of the creamer. It's the one that I get, the peppermint one, and then also the vanilla, and they have an Irish cream that's all sugar-free. I'll look on the label. I don't have it with me, so I'll have to check. Oh, that's really cool, Debbie. She takes these and makes the covers and leaves them as an act of kindness. That is a super cool idea because a lot of people really need a pen, you know. One of the things that someone told me, a lady at my church, her name is Jean, she donates a lot of her clothing to this particular place where they wash it and make outfits like nice skirts and slacks with like vests or jackets and dress shirts for people who are looking for a job that maybe can't afford a nice outfit. And one of the things she was talking about is they have a bunch of pens and those legal size notebooks that they can grab while they're in there for free. And, you know, you don't think about it that you don't have a pen on you when you're going in to do a job interview. We do a lot of it online, but a lot of people can't do that, you know. And so if they're going to a job interview, they've got to have a pen. And that's a really neat idea, okay? My friend Jean is a really neat lady. I was telling her because, yeah, moving in, we're going through our stuff again. You know, you always even in 6 months in that rental house, you collect junk, you know? And so I was telling her I had a lot of really nice skirts and blouses that I need to take to Goodwill. She goes, oh no, don't take them there. Take them to this charity. I wish I can't remember the name of it, and it's strictly it's not strictly for dress clothes, but it's for ladies and gentlemen who just need a nice outfit, and it's free. It's free for them, so they can go and do a job interview and feel comfortable and confident. I think it's a really neat idea. And so I've got a pile there. I want to go through it and make sure it's all washed, and although they do wash it all, but I just feel better if I wash it before I take it in. So anywho, now what I want to talk to you next about is our this and that videos. I'm really enjoying reading all your answers. It really does help me learn. And this week's question was, do you prefer a photo tutorial or a video tutorial, or maybe both? And it was really interesting. Most people really liked having both of them. And so it's good to know, because I do really try hard to have a written pattern on my blog to go with every video that I do. I don't do one for the this and that. That one I don't, because it's not a pattern. But when I do a pattern tutorial, I really do like to have a written pattern for you so you can look at it. It's going to have still pictures, photos. I guess that is a still picture because it's not moving. But anyway, I like to do that because for me, I personally prefer a written pattern, and then I can go to the video and kind of go back and forth. And it's really neat because sometimes I might misspeak and say, I don't know, a double crochet, and I mean a half double crochet, and you can check to see what I'm doing and what's on the video. So anyway, so it helped me a lot. And so I do take my iPad and I sit down and I watch while my husband's watching like racing or football or something, and I read through all your comments, and it really does help me a lot to learn. And I think you'll learn from other people as well. And go ahead, read other people's comments on there. It'll help you know you're not the only one who thinks that way, and it's okay if you are. You know, there is no wrong answer ever on these this and that videos. There is no wrong answer. It's just really interesting information and to know what other people are doing. I'm tucking my blanket in. I've actually got a blanket on my lap because I'm freezing. I moved over and it untucked out from underneath my thigh. I am just freezing today. Okay, so I will have a video ready for you tomorrow for this and that. I usually do them early on Tuesday morning, but I purchased a new video editing program, and I can't figure it out yet. So I may go ahead and use the old one for tomorrow's video. Either way, I'll have it ready, and I like to have it ready to go, and I like to have it scheduled for about 8:30, 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, because I'm going to have my grandkids tomorrow. And so I'll have it ready to go, and then I'll be able tomorrow evening to read through all your answers, okay? So yeah, Wednesday is Grandkiddo Day. Although we're thinking about moving it to Friday. We haven't decided yet. We'll see. Okay, so what else happened this week? Well, one of the things we did yesterday, I'm pointing the wrong direction. Was our Scrap Happy triangle scarf. And someone said, that's not a Scrappy scarf. You used yarn. Well, I used yarn that I had, okay? And I'm going to show you something real quick. I've got it down here in this basket. This is a basket of yarn that I used. It's all Vanna's Choice. I had a whole bunch of it. I purchased it when it went on clearance at Hobby Lobby. This one's marked $3.99, but these went on sale for, I think, 79 cents. And they're all what's called the mist. This is a taupe mist. The purple is a purple mist. Rose mist, orange mist, and sea foam. And there are some other colors. I just didn't get them. They no longer sell this particular yarn, although I have seen it on either Hirschner's or Mary Maxim had it, okay? And so what I'm trying to say is I just used up yarn. You can see my stripes are random. Some of them are 2, some of them are longer. And the way this pattern works is you start with triple stitches, and then you're going to alternate between triple stitches and half double crochets in the back loop. And it gives you those deep stripes. And it's just super cool. And then the trim is done a couple of rows of half double crochets. And then the last part of the trim is that you chain 3, you do 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and then you skip 2 and slip stitch, and it makes a nice pointed sort of a mountain peak. I don't know, I can't remember the name of the stitch offhand right now, but it's a really neat stitch, and it's a really super easy pattern. And it's a little bit wider. We start with a few more stitches, so it's a little bit wider of a pattern than your basic pointed shawl. And you can use this around your neck in the front. You can put it to the side and kind of like a ponchette, or you can put it around the back as a shawlette. And I say ponchette and shawlette because that means they're just a little bit smaller. Okay? So if you want it bigger, you can add more rows, more repeats. But remember, as it gets wider, or as it gets longer, it also gets wider. And this has a nature to be just a little bit wider. So keep that in mind. Another thing I wanted to show you is these spectacular buttons I used. You just need one button because we make a loop, and then we just loop over the button just to hold it on. And I found these buttons a few years ago, and I think they were on clearance at Hobby Lobby, but I just fell in love with them. And I think they were made wide because were made wide for putting leather through these buttonholes. But I just love them, and I love buttons that look like leather. Okay, so that was what we did yesterday. I saw a couple of Coffee Mate. That's right, Kimberly. It's Coffee Mate. That's the brand. I saw some question marks. I want to see. Do I get snow here? We're expected to get snow tomorrow. But one of the things about Oklahoma opposed to Colorado, we would just get dumped with snow in Colorado. And they had tons of snow plows. You're never stuck. But down here, we always seem to get, here in Oklahoma, because it's so much more humid, we always seem to get like a layer of ice underneath and then a dusting of snow, and it makes it super slick. So I'm not going anywhere the next couple of days. We're getting super duper cold weather here. Okay. Are you talking about yarn for hats for the homeless? One of the yarns that I highly recommend is I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. And I know that sounds like it's not going to be warm, but if you use a nice tight stitch, and the reason acrylics work fine, but they don't hold up as well. A cotton hat is warm as long as you use a tighter stitch. And I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby is a soft cotton, and it will keep their ears warm. Okay. If you want to make, one of the things I did find is that a lot of the people that are homeless, they like hats because it keeps their heads warm. But a lot of the ladies I noticed really like the thick headbands opposed to a hat. So if you don't have enough yarn to make a hat, you can make the ear warmers that are thick, the thick bands, okay? But I found acrylic is great. If you've got leftover acrylic, the hats are great as long as they're keeping their ears warm and their heads warm. But if you're going to go buy something, Hobby Lobby has the softest cotton ever, and you don't have to worry about allergies. A lot of people are allergic to wool. I'm allergic to wool. If it's mercerized wool, which means it's brought through more and it's a lot softer, it doesn't affect me as much, or if it's blended. But the cotton and the Hobby Lobby regular yarn, both are super soft. Red Heart soft, Red Heart with love, and some of the other ones that have the softer yarns, they're great for making the hats. I actually have a big pile of hats that are demos and things that I'm going to be taking over to the one in Mustang. I'm terrible about getting it all together and forgetting to put it in my car. So I need to make sure that the bag is over by my car. Because when I'm ready to go, I just take off. And I get there and I'm like, where'd I put that bag? You know? So yeah. wool is itchy, like Kim says, but a lot of people do have wool allergies, but they'll wear it because they're cold. And so then they end up with a red itchiness. And so, yeah. One thing I do recommend that I learned in Colorado because it got so cold, when you're donating a scarf or a hat, add a pair of socks. One of the most needed things in homeless shelters are socks. And I don't even know if you can find them anymore, but we would get the ones that don't have a heel in them. They're just like a straight sock with a band, and in all different sizes. And take a pair of socks, tuck it in that hat, and put a card that says, "This is for you, I'm thinking about you," or "I'm praying for you," and just hand them out. I'm telling you, socks are appreciated. A lot of the places like Fruit of the Loom and underpants places, they do donate these things as well as underclothes and t-shirts. But still, one of the most requested things, even for the children, are socks. So we learned that. We used to do that, have a scarf and roll it up and put a pair of socks inside of it. Same thing with a hat. And then take a piece of yarn and just make a little card that says, this is not lost, it's for you," or something. I can't remember the little poem. But when it gets cold, I mean, it's a great time. If you've got hats laying around you're not going to wear, tube socks. That's exactly what they are, tube socks. Yeah, it's a really great idea. And I do demos and we do tests, and I always end up with several hats and things. And I've got a bunch that are Mustang school colors, and that's a lot of what's in that bag. So anyway, just my 2 cents worth. All right, let's talk about the other things that happened this week real quick. Last Friday, we did our silly little snowman. Now, I made this snowman, I want to say 2015 or 2012. Just a coaster. He's got snowballs for hands and feet and a silly little hat. Well, I wanted to update the pattern, and so we did. This one I did with the pom-pom red and green. It's just super simple. You can also use these as, I forgot the word, ornaments. And appliques and tags. People like things like this hanging on their gift bags and things. Super simple cotton yarn. And if you're going to use these, dropped them. If you're going to use these as ornaments or gift tags, you can make them out of acrylic yarn also. As long as it's a medium weight number 4. Super simple, super fun. Little snowman with snowballs for hands and feet. And then we also did the sparkle snowflake doily, and I really love this. I wanted to make one that had a snowflake in the center, and this one's done with sparkle yarns. I don't know if you can see that, and I really love that. And then I did the demo with just sort of a white and a blue, and this one's now my favorite. I really love it. And a lot of people, they pick up and put away all their snowflakey things in January. But January is a snowy month. Even in Colorado, when we lived up there, our snowiest months were February and March, opposed to December. And so I love snowman. I like to leave them up all the time. I don't love them as much as cardinals, but I do like them. Both my daughters in their house have snowman Christmas trees, which I think is super cool. Alrighty, so, and just a reminder, all these patterns that I'm showing you are my designs, and every one of them, all of them have a video tutorial and then a link underneath that you can click, and that link will take you to the blog where we have the pattern written out and pictures. I don't always do a picture every row, especially if it's a repeat, but I do add lots of pictures because pictures are important. Okay? All right, now the last thing I want to talk to you about before we go is we're going to be starting what I'm calling the Pamper Me series. And so what it's going to be is items like washcloths, bath poofs, face scrubbers, things like that, a back scrubber, things to pamper ourselves. It's been a hard year for me, and it's probably been a rough year for everybody. Prices are high, gas is high, we may not have as much to spend on Christmas, and we might be feeling the stress. And, you know, a lot of times oh, I want to make this for this person, and we get it started and we don't get it finished, or maybe the pattern was a little more complicated than we, you know, knew or whatever. And we get ourselves all stressed up. I didn't get the right toy, or my grandson's not going to like this because he likes blue and I made it in yellow or whatever. And we get ourselves all stressed up, all stressed out, not stressed up, but I guess stressed up works too. Anyway, and so these next 2 to 3 weeks, which is, you know, the end of December and into January, we're going to make some items that are for us. Now, you can put them together and give them away as well. You know, if you know somebody else that may be going through a rough time that needs a pick-me-up. But they're just going to be items made in cotton yarns for, you know, like I said, washcloths and bath poofs and things like that. Just, you know, for pampering us. Yeah. And it's a little bit selfish on my part because I have had a rough year. You know what? I decided not to let it pull me down. There were moments that I struggled. I'm human, but I made it through. And now we're getting settled in. We're not completely settled in our new home, but we're getting there. And we love living here. This is a beautiful area. And I think part of the problem was I missed my house in Colorado. I love that house. You know, we had such a beautiful view of Pikes Peak and a wonderful balcony and stuff like that. But our house here is a gorgeous house. It's all one level. I don't have to go up or down the stairs because that house was 3 levels the way that it was built into the side of a hill. And so, and the greatest blessings of all is that I'm down here with both of my kids, with all of my grandkids and their families and their spouses, and getting to spend time with my grandkids is amazing. Getting to spend time, you know, with my own kids is amazing. And I'm really blessed. My kids all have both wonderful spouses, and I'm really proud of all of them. And so even though it was a rough year for me, it was a blessed year as well. We found a great church with a bunch of loving people, and, you know, getting involved and getting to know people. And I always tell people the best way to get to know people is go find a friendly church, because you know, those are the people in your community, you know. And also go to your local Goodwills and Salvation Armies and talk to the people and donate things, and, you know, get busy, get to know people. It's hard. I personally I talk a lot online, but I really tend to be a little bit more quiet in a crowd. I know, it's hard to believe. Every time I go to a new dentist, they always go, "You have a really small mouth, but I bet that's not what your mother said." I think all the friendliness of all of you brings it out in me. So anyway, and I'm going to be doing a video in a couple of weeks for the new year. And I'm going to have a new word. And so if you can think of a new word for 2023 that can be our word of the year, because you know I like to do that. Could be merry, huh? Let's be merry. My shirt says merry and bright. I just like it because it has the lights on it. Anywho, moving back to what we were talking about. I always pick a word every year. And I haven't been doing good at what I said I was going to do this year, so we may need to pick a brand new word. We're going to pick a brand new word. So anyway, I pulled this out because this is the yarn that I'm using. You can see it's kind of a speckly yarn. It's got blues and teals and pinks and purples and cream. I believe it's called confetti. It was bigger. I've been using it. So anyway, it's a great way also, this Pamper Me series, to use up some cotton yarns. You don't have to make them matchy-matchy. You can do them all different colors and make several of each and just have some fun. And, you know, they're great to give to people for housewarming or marriages or moving out for the first time on their own, going to college or whatever. But it's also a great way to pamper us. Okay, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else I needed to say other than thank you. Thank you all for watching my videos. Thank you for being a part. Yes. And for charities, because you know what? They need washcloths and things like that also. All right, so thank you for being a part of the YouTube channel for, I don't know, I think I've been doing this 5 years now. If you go back and watch my old videos, it's okay to laugh at them. I do it all the time and go, what in the world was I thinking? Because I'm really quite weird. My grandson says I'm weird, but in a good way. All righty, I'm going to let you go. I love you guys. Have a Merry Christmas, a blessed Hanukkah, and a fun-filled family Kwanzaa. And love your families and get together and have an amazing new year. Now, I do plan on having a video next week, but you never know. Happy holidays, everybody. Bye-bye.